Here we do.
Here.
That's not even a real sentence, Derek. Jesus Christ.
There's a bunch of sounds is what it was.
Here we do. So welcome to Straight Red Card. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your Uncle Alfonso if you have one. The Fonz will pass too.
Branching out of your German heritage there, huh?
Yeah, I thought I'd go a little Italian, And then if we do the Fonz, I mean, that sort of gets the Jewish community, right? Because I don't know if a lot of people know that, but yeah, the Fonz he was Jewish. Not on the show though, right? No, not on the show.
I don't think it matters.
It doesn't matter. No. I mean, I'm many parts Jewish as well. I don't think that matters. So I mean I do, but not for this show. All right, so just want to thank everybody that got us to 1.5 million. I'm just kidding. 1.5 thousand. 1.5 thousand subscribers. Yeah, that's really cool. That lets
filled
us
it overnight. Bunch of sock puppet accounts. Filled it up, guys. Way to go.
We're doing something decent, right? It's not everything we do isn't defamatory and horrible. So thank you for watching.
85%.
85% what?
Defamatory and horrible.
I thought you meant 85% of the people who are subscribed to us even like us.
Oh, no. We're 75% sock puppets, but come on.
Yeah, all right. All right, so let's get that. I mean, first things first, we got to decide how many guys is Gregg likely to bring. I think it's plus or minus 24 to 25-ish. So, I mean, it could be 26, but it could be 24. So I think maybe we just go with 25.
Well, I'm seeing how I think first window after injuries, we had like 26, and then the next window, or 25, and the next window we had 26.
But it's
was it 26, 27? Either way.
Yeah, it's two games.
It's two games. I don't think there has, with two games, there does not have to be the turnover that we see between the three games. So I think even calling in 25 might be
could be high.
High.
Unless you're looking to integrate certain players.
Why not?
I mean, so I'm going to give Gregg the benefit of the doubt. And so we're going to do 25 here with the idea that some players that he's bringing on here probably won't play, but they're being integrated into the system or his system or
USSF is cutting his budget down to 23 players. So
you know that for a fact?
I have some people on the inside.
Yeah, but is that confirmed?
Sure.
I mean, know some people inside a cave, but I don't know if you know. Okay, that was uncalled for. I was not calling Brett a Neanderthal. All right, so here we go. Man.
Not cool. Yeah. I'm only 1.2% Neanderthal. Come on.
Have you done that test?
Oh, fuck no.
Okay. I have. I've got zero. I got 0% Neanderthal somehow.
I don't think that's possible. I mean, it must be a small enough percentage that it's not. But I mean, that's not registered, I guess. But I don't think that's possible.
I think the majority of my people didn't live near Neanderthals. They lived in like Finland,
Germanic, and no.
They
Neanderthals ran Europe up until the Homo sapiens came in.
Not all of Europe,
for the most part.
I mean, I'm sure there were some there here and there.
Yeah, but you've got a small percentage it's not registered. It has to be. I don't think it's possible that it's a 0%.
I don't know. It was 0% on my. What is that? Me and 23 or whatever it was. I did it years ago. So yeah, it's probably better now.
You're on some register with the government now.
23andMe. That's what it was. Yeah.
Like I said,
and I found out all kinds of weird shit about myself. I'm like, Jesus, okay.
I got diabetes.
I'm working on that. But I was like, I'm like way more Jewish and way more Finnish and way more Polish than I ever thought. But then my people did come, from the parts of Germany that were sort of isolated. That's East Prussia. So that was up there, and it was kind of isolated and surrounded by Finland and can't remember the other countries. All of a sudden, they're leaving my brain. Lithuania, Poland. And so it makes sense that there was some integration there, and anyhow, it's a cool thing to do. I kind of liked it. You should do it. It's a lot of fun. I mean, yours will probably be boring, but mine wasn't. But then the shit you think you are, you're really not. You're like, I thought I was.
Turns out I'm 3/4 black. Who knew?
No, that didn't happen. But I had a great percentage of North African in my lineage. That was way more surprised. I was like, North African? Really? It's kind of crazy.
Given history, and that doesn't surprise me.
No, and it kind of, if you watch the line of my lineage, you're like, okay, so my people started in Northern Africa, then they went up through kind of where Israel is today, and then up through Turkey, and then up through, I was
going more with when the Romans fell. I mean, North Africa came up and swooped through.
Yeah, I mean, well, yes, a lot of major changes. Yeah, and even you had the invasions from North Africa, Hannibal taking on Rome too. So, and then for a long time, Hannibal and Carthage, that was like Sicily. They owned Sicily. That was their thing. So anyhow, all right, that's enough goddamn history.
What's the topic now? What are we talking about?
We're talking about who Gregg's going to pick for the team and where we disagree with him. And first, you and I got to agree on who Gregg's going to pick. And the first one's really easy. He's going to take 3 goalkeepers, and I believe it's going to be Turner, Steffen, and Johnson again. People are saying Horvath, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Horvath, as long as he keeps riding this pine this hard, I don't think he's going to get,
I don't know. I see Johnson. I see Johnson's inclusion last window as primarily a second option in Panama when they were on the red list. So I don't necessarily see Johnson getting included this window. I suspect Horvath will be included.
You might be right. You're right. We might be right. Anyhow, that was the one change I was going to make from Gregg, as I was going to add Horvath on there instead of Johnson. So that's it. That's the only change I had.
What's funny is my notes, I have Horvath, and then I'm like, oh crap, red list, Jamaica. And then I wrote Johnson. I'm like, wait, is Jamaica still on the red list? No, they're not. Okay, Horvath.
Of course, there's always that risk they could get back on the red list.
I don't think by the window. I think even if they list them in November, it's possible. I guess if they change it by November, it's possible. I guess
if they have a spike in Jamaica, they're going right back on the red list. So there's that to keep in mind. And so if you're Gregg, you're just like, well, I'm going to play that safe because that's a day-to-day fucking thing, right? So I'll just take somebody I know, Johnson, who can play regardless. Whereas Horvath's not playing anyhow. So centerbacks. I took 5 for Gregg. Did you take 5?
Oh, let me do the math. I did not. Written this down. I did not do a lot of organizing real well on this.
Well, you just stop me when I say something wrong.
No, I have 5 for Gregg.
Right. Brooks. Brooks, we agree on.
Yep.
Unless they still have some sort of behind the scenes spat we're not aware of.
He pulls another back spasm before the window.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, Gregg, I know we were just on the phone together. I just had a back spasm. I think, and believe me, Brooks' English is not this good. I think I'm not going to play. Thanks. So anyhow, but aside that, it's Brooks, Miles, Richards, Zimmerman, and hear me out here. It's going to be Tim Ream.
Okay. I wasn't even thinking about that, but in all honesty, Ream was included last window before he came up lame. No, he had a family issue. He had a family issue, so it's different.
Yep.
So yeah, I had written McKenzie, but I did not think about Ream. And the only reason I wrote McKenzie was because of Gregg's comfort level with him. But I could see Ream being included.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason Ream was left out last time was I think one of his close relatives did an overdose of marijuana gummies, and that was it, pretty much, right? So, I mean, there's a freak out.
They ate a lot of pizza.
Sunk into the
Chilled
couch.
Back. Just, watch some OAR concerts.
But apparently there was a panic session, and so Ream had to go get along with that, and that took like at least 2 days, apparently. He had so many gummies. So he knew he was going to miss at least one game in practice.
He thought it was just a standard pack. just like not laced.
I know.
These are fucking gummies. I want some gummies.
That was the problem. It was his roommate who bought gummy bears and then put them in the jar, and then he started just eating them like they were gummy bears. You can't do that because one of those gummy bears will fuck you up. All right, so so we agree then. Those are the 5.
Yeah,
and then we move on to left back, and I think Greg's gonna go Anthony and Scally. I think that's his lineup, with Scally being able to do left or right.
I have written Scally down as well. Obviously Robinson, but I've written Scally down as well. But I wasn't sure if he was going to use this as his integration time period and maybe just bring him in and not necessarily look to play him, or maybe he does play him. Who knows? But I still think he's going to bring a backup left back, and I think it's still going to be Bello, despite his past 2 camps. Again, he's integrated. He's well accustomed. But you mentioned Vines is back in the picture with Antwerp. So it's possible, give it another week or 2 here, he may be picking Vines over Bello in this situation. But I could see, similar to what we were talking about more last window, where like he was supposed to be the floater, not necessarily a floater, but just sort of a backup to the left back or right back. I mean, and then if needs be, Des could be the floater, if you will. But I see. I don't know. I see him bringing two actual left backs, and then maybe bringing Scally in as a floater between right and left.
I really don't think you need any more than 4 total.
I don't either, but we're talking about 25, and I have to hit that number somehow.
Well, I'll help you down the line hit it. But I mean, the thing is, yes, Vines could be added to the Anthony, Scally, Des, Yedlin. I mean, we're adding the right backs in. Back fullbacks, but I think if he's going to get that call over Bello at this point, I think Bello was really disappointing in the last window for Greg.
I don't disagree, but again, we have Scally who's untested at the international level, and we have Vines who's just coming off of a long injury. So I'm going off of what we have right now, and that's what I'm going for.
So I think it's going to be Vines or Bello, but I would really like to see neither of them and just add Jonathan Gomez.
Well, there we go. There's an idea.
Let's bring him into camp. This is where I differ from Greg. Let's bring him into camp and get him integrated along with Scally. I mean, there's probably very little time that's going to be left on the field in these 2 games for anybody to back up Anthony, Robinson, and Des. They'll get like 10, 15, 20 at most minutes in these games. So I'd say bring them both. Yeah. Bring Scally and Gomez, who's about to head over to Spain this next window to Real Sociedad. So
that's an interesting concept, and I would be fine with that.
So that's the one change I had there. And then we're talking holding midfielders, and really there's just 2 choices, and that's Adams and Acosta. I mean, for Greg, I don't see Greg bringing in Scally in this shorter window. He might be.
Scally? We just talked about Scally. Are you sure you mean Scally?
I mean, not Scally. Sands. God damn it. I'm getting my...
you threw me for a loop there. I was like, wait a second.
I'm getting my New York City guys mixed up there. Yeah. So I don't think Sands is coming. I think it's just going to be Adams, and then Acosta's going to be there if Adams breaks a leg. And that's it.
Yeah, basically. Again, we have 2 games, and there should not be a lot of turnover between those 2 games, because I don't think it's necessary. Right. So even if there is turnover, it should be from the sub level, but the starting lineup should be pretty consistent.
Yes, I would assume the starting lineups for both games will be pretty consistent. So we go to the 8s midfielders. I mean, some of these are so easy, Brett. It's McKennie and Musa for sure.
Absolutely.
But then after that, you're like, okay, should be Busio, should be De La Torre, but it's probably also going to include Roldan. There'll be 5 of them. That's my guess.
So you're sticking with this rift between Leggett, huh?
Yeah, I think that's done. I think Leggett played that bad last window. I think he was that bad. Whereas Roldan didn't get as many minutes to shrink and look horrible. Right?
And there is the topic where Leggett doesn't get consistent playing time with LA, whereas Roldan is scoring constantly.
Roldan starts every game, and he can't stop fucking getting assists and goals. So, I mean, so you got to include Roldan, especially since, during their one-on-one.
I'll say that Berhalter will do that. but he'd be he'd be one person I'd nix in the midfield. We just simply don't need it.
Oh, you mean this is what you would do?
Well, I'm saying I agree that I think Berhalter will include him.
Yeah, that's what
I'm just saying. I would nix him in my take because I don't think we need him.
Yeah, that's your take. Yeah. Like, so our take is different. So your take is, yeah, we don't need him. Leave Roldan out. It just McKennie, Musa, Roldan, De La Torre is probably enough.
Yeah,
but
and Busio. Don't forget Busio.
Did I say no? Okay. But Roldan's going to be in there. He just is. And I guess if I would make a change, I'd take Roldan out and I would add Gio Caccini. I mean, not Gio Caccini, excuse me. I would add Timothy Tillman. I know that's a surprise. People are going to be what? And I'm going to be like, yeah. So guess why Julian Green isn't playing for fucking Greuther Fürth anymore? Because his starting spot has been taken over by another German American named Timothy Tillman.
Nope. An interesting option as well, if we're looking at integrating people, would be Kappas. Kappas got called in one of the friendlies prior to Nations League. He's been doing well with his club.
Yeah,
it's a possibility. I'm just saying if we're looking because he's a 6, isn't he? Or is he a box?
He can play 6 or 8. So
okay. Yeah. I mean, if we're looking for a replacement for Adams, and we're not 100% sold on Acosta because you don't know which Acosta is going to show up. I mean, this would be a time to call him in at least, and again keep him integrated with the team. Let's see what happens.
You could do Johnny Cardoso too.
You could bring in Johnny Soccer. Yep, same thing.
So I mean,
and quite frankly, he hasn't had a chance since Olympics. So you can give him again. Where's the harm in bringing them in? I mean, yeah, I know it's going to cost a little bit of extra money to fly them in and roof them in some hotel, but I mean, outside of that, they're already providing the food for everybody else. It's not going to be any increase really. So I'm just saying. Let's talk about integrating some of these players.
Yeah, let's get them acclimated to the goddamn team, so the next time they show up, they know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. Otherwise, what's Gregg going to do for the remainder of the World Cup qualifying is going to be pretty much a copy and paste of what we're talking about now. If you don't start integrating some players,
yeah, you got to start doing it soon.
You don't have to give them minutes.
You don't have to play them.
Everybody has to get just get adjusted to playing with the team, practicing, moving around. And then at that point, if something happens, let's say, God forbid, Adams gets an injury, or let's God forbid, and let's say Acosta gets an injury.
Yeah.
But we have a backup at that point. We're not scrambling and saying, oh God, who are we going to play for number 6? God, we could probably move Kitty back there, but then we got to find a different 8 and then sub that 8 in there.
Or maybe Musa can do it. I mean, even though he has never done it before, or Busio can do it, but he gets pushed around a lot. Yeah. So better to get people acclimated and assimilated now to all the team rules and all that shit. Just get the feeling of what CONCACAF is. Give them a shot. I think you have some extra space. You don't have to just bring 23, so bring a couple extra guys just to get them acclimated. Mm-hmm. Winger, I think that Gregg will go with, and just stop me if you disagree, sure. Aronson, Weah, Areola, and Hoppy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think he's going to do.
I mean, I could see him doing that, yes. Assuming that Areola is healthy.
And we know this is all with the assumption that both Pulisic and Reyna won't be healthy for the November window.
I guess there's a part of me that wrote this list not thinking about what Berhalter was doing, because I didn't even think about Areola. But yeah, no, if Areola is healthy, absolutely, he's going to get called in. Yeah, I had written Conrad.
Nope.
Just because I see more promise in him than Areola, obviously.
Me too.
But
me too.
But yeah, no, if Areola is healthy, of course he's going to be included.
I mean, listen, you could do Conrad or Gio Caccini, depending on who's getting more playing time with their Serie A club. Serie A. Oh, by the way, we got credit for that on Filippo's show tonight, live show. He's like, yeah, I have to give Brett and Derek credit for teaching me how to say Serie A. That was nice of him, although he couldn't remember which one of us taught him that. I'm like, well, I think I did, but it could have been Brett. I mean, it could have been Brett. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you probably said something like, League 1. And I
League
kept going, League 1. It just kept going worse and worse every time. And
well, I think, and then he said League 2, and it's not League 2, it's League 2. So he's gonna have to work on that next. Right? That's
I do not speak Francais, so
un, deux, trois, cinco. I can't fucking
that's
remember.
Spanish.
Yeah, I transferred from French to Spanish somewhere along there.
Is it un, deux, trois, 14? No, that's
So
not 14. Shit.
I can count to 3 in French. Woo! Good job, slow clap. All right,
so a pat on that back, yayo.
So I think what we're talking about here is like the only difference I would make there, along with you, is I don't think we need Areola. I think we can do Conrad or Gio Caccini. We don't need to bring Areola. I think he's a hard worker, but I think that's what Gregg's going to do. He's going to bring him.
Again, between Weah, Aronson, and Hoppy, I think our wings are covered for 2 games. Again, we have to stress this moment that there shouldn't be that much of a turnover between game 1 and game 2. And at that point, unless you talk about like a simple thing, like instead of Weah, Hoppy starts the second game or something like that, or vice versa. I don't see Aronson not starting both games, but there shouldn't be much of a turnover. And I don't think we necessarily need to have somebody like Areola who's been consistently called in and consistently played without the consistency on the field. But
all I got to see is Areola's called up. He better be coming off the bench in the last 20 minutes. Because that should be Aronson starting regardless, and then either Weah or Hoppy starting.
Well, I think given Weah's last performance against Costa Rica, I could see it being Aronson and Weah with Hoppy coming off the bench for at least one game. And like I said, flip-flop. Have Hoppy start a game. Hoppy has the fucking energy and drive that I think Aronson brings, but, just a bit more balls to the approach,
Well, if those wingers, yeah, exactly. If those wingers are running a lot in these next 2 games, yeah, you're going to bring both Areola and Hoppy off the bench in the last 20 to 15 to 10 minutes to give Weah and Aronson a blow. Damn, I'm not going to say blow. God damn it. A rest, not a blow. Nobody's giving anybody blows.
Between games.
I promise to stop saying that. All right. So, so it's not as bad as you when you get toasted, Brett. What is your famous thing? You say it a lot. You're like, in all honesty, that is your thing when you get drunk.
I've got a fun. I actually didn't catch myself saying that in the last segments. Oddly enough,
you said it like 100 times.
I know. So I have a story about that.
Yeah.
So I one day. I worked a 13-hour shift at work. I worked a normal 8-hour shift, then I had a hockey game out of work when I worked at the fairgrounds.
Oh, this is back in the day.
My friend was having a birthday celebration downtown at some bars. So after that 13-hour shift, I drove downtown, partook in a couple of bevs, not a lot of bevs, but a couple of bevs. And then, hit up some White Castle afterwards. Ooh. Dropped him off at home, and on my way home, and it was not because I was drunk, but it was because I was just super fucking exhausted. I closed my eyes for half a second, longer than normal, and then just sideswiped the telephone pole. It wasn't much of anything, seriously.
Bet you it woke you up, though.
Yeah, totally did. So this is on some fucking country ass road that. There happened to be one car half a mile down the road from me. One car on this fucking country road. Turned out it was a fucking cop. Cop comes down and I'm talking to my dad. I'm like, just like 3 a.m. I'm talking like, hey, I just hit a fucking telephone pole. Oh wait, shit, there's a cop. He goes, have you been drinking? I go, well, yeah. He goes, well, call me afterwards. So I'm talking to the cop and I'm catching myself saying that every fucking sentence was, well, have you been drinking? Well, in all honesty, yes, I have been. And how many of you drink? In all honesty, I don't recall how many I've had to drink. And internally, I'm going, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up.
Dumbass. You're making yourself more guilty by the minute.
Dude. So she gave me a breathalyzer test. And she says I didn't register over, which again I'm 99.9999% positive is just the fact that I've been up for like 18 plus hours, you know.
Dude, there is nothing worse than being tired and having just like 2 beers.
Yeah.
And just wanting to go to bed. Yeah.
So she's like, well, you know, you don't register. Do you have somebody coming? I'm like, yeah, I can give somebody a call because I can't drive the car. The car's fucking totaled. And so I'm sitting in the car. You know, it's dead of fucking winter. And all the windows are shattered. And so the cop comes back out. And she's like, if you want to, I mean, you can sit in the cruiser. I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting in the back of the cruiser, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this might have been a trap.
It's a trap.
I can't get out here now.
Well, I'm glad that all worked out. I really am, because that sounds like that was in the days when we were just starting our show. So
actually,
that's a long time ago. Yeah,
that would have been the day of the forums, the boards, and everything like that. Yeah,
long time ago. Okay, good story. I hope that everybody learned a lesson about sleeping and driving.
Getting some sleep. Yep.
Yes.
Not while driving. Don't do that.
Don't do it. Center forward. Well, I think this.
Shit, we're still in the middle of this.
Yes, we are. We got center forward to go, and there's only going to be 2.
In all honesty.
Yeah, in all honesty, Greg's going to pick Pepe and Zardes.
Yep, that's who I have.
Yep, and in all honesty, I would pick Pepe and Sargent. That's what I would do. I think Sargent's playing every game. Yes, he plugged that goal. I get it. He had a goal, but he's playing for Norwich City, and he almost had a goal. Almost. Should have had one. Scuffed it. Didn't hit it. But
by all accounts, not only just from us watching the games, but also the fans of Norwich, he's always rated one of the highest players on the team on most every game he's played. So again, while he's not scoring goals, he's doing just about everything else worthwhile that you need in a striker in that situation for that kind of a team.
I'm just bringing him in for the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes of the next 2 games.
Pepe starts both games. Yeah, absolutely.
Pepe starts both games, but he comes in to give Pepe a rest and, you know, and gets that 10, 15 minutes. And maybe because he's so energetic and he puts a lot of effort in, the opponent will be tired at that point, and it'll offer us some other opportunities for him, too, because he needs to regain some confidence, because his dick is about as saggy as you can get right now. He has 0 confidence, 0. And, you know, he can't keep doing this. He needs some confidence, needs a goal. He needs to feel like he's contributing somewhere, because he's, you know, it's an uphill battle at Norwich City. I mean, that shit has relegation written all over it.
And it's funny because, not funny, I guess, but it all it takes is, you know, 1 goal. If he gets 1 goal, the confidence starts coming back. And all Norwich needs to do is start winning a couple of games here and there. And they're in the mix of things, because I mean, it's not like they're like out of contention completely. All they have to do is just get above number 3, obviously. They need to start putting some away, and they need to start notching some results. Otherwise, they continue this path.
And listen, I'm only bringing 2 because Weah and Hoppy can already play center forward if on a pinch. So if Pepe gets injured, that still leaves you 3 guys that can play it.
We've never brought in 3 any of the World Cup qualifiers yet. It's always been 2. Because, I mean, again, you know, if one plays here, then the next one plays there, and then the first one plays again, you know.
I mean, I'd prefer to see Hoppy, you know, if Pepe gets injured.
I would love to see him get played as a 9 period.
Oh, I'd love it. I don't think we're going to see it, but I'd love to see it.
His energy on the field will be amazing in that spot. He won't play the same type of striker that Berhalter wants, but so what?
Exactly. So before we close out this show, is there anything else we need to do? I mean, I think that's everything. We've done us. We've done what we agree with Gregg, and so we're coming to the end here. And somebody wrote me an email and said, "Hey, how come you guys don't do the German sentence of the week anymore?"
Balls.
So I thought we'd do one. Let's do one.
We've had enough to drink for this shit.
All right, I'll do 2 words at a time. Does that work?
Good, that works. That's fine. Yes.
Okay. Das Dienstmädchen.
You said 2 words. Das Mädchen.
That's close enough. Schnuffelt mit Robbie Fowler.
Robbie Fowler.
Im Bada. I'm trying to say the slope. Badazimmer.
Im Badazimmer.
On cocaine.
Cocaine. Well,
So-
I think I can almost decipher that one myself.
Yeah, what's your guess?
I mean, obviously, there's Robbie Fowler and cocaine.
Yeah, exactly.
So insert
it's-
random words with it. It's like, is Robbie Fowler really on cocaine?
It's das Dienstmädchen schnuffelt mit Robbie Fowler im Badezimmer on cocaine. And
That
that
was a lot
is
longer than I remember.
that's a really long way of saying the maid is sniffing cocaine in the bathroom with Robbie Fowler.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
There you go, Liverpool fans. Those of you who remember Robbie Fowler sniffing up goal lines after scoring because of all the rumors in the news that he had a coke habit. So his way of mocking them after he scored was sniffing up the lines along the, I guess it was the baseline or the goal line. I can't remember.
It was goal line, yeah.
It's fucking hilarious, dude. The funniest shit I ever saw in soccer at the time. I was dying laughing when I watched that game. Just absolutely collapsing in hilarity. It's a long time ago, though. All right, that's gonna do it. Make sure that you like the show, you subscribe to the show if you haven't already subscribed it. You could also send it to a lot of people and say, hey, dumb fuckers, you need to be subscribing to the show and liking the show and watching the show. You don't have to use the word dumb fuckers, but you know it does get people's attention. I think I'm usually pretty cool being called a dumb fucker these days because it's such a fucking term people just throw around. Hey, dumb fucker, get over here.
Listen here, you dumb fucker.
I haven't heard it recently. I mean, but with my close friends, we kind of joke around and say, you know,
There's now everybody's going to refer to you as dumb fucker, so get used to that.
Hey, I got 4 degrees. I am no dumb fucker. All right. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, do a shot.